This week on Lost, Jack is providing top-tier sound bites to the marketing department.
Here we go.
Sun wants to play extreme table tennis.
I was getting you this.
And Saeed is writing a new Dickens classic.
I had no expectations.
Welcome to my Lost Rewatch, where I'm revisiting every episode of the show Lost and talking about the good, the bad, and the mysteries. This week is Season 1, Episode 20, Do No Harm. Let's get chopping off Boone's leg! Boone is down and Jack is ready to do anything and everything to get him back up again. Jack sends Kate for a whiskey drink, a vodka drink, a lager drink, and even a cider drink. But Kate also gets knocked down and breaks all of the drinks as she also utters one of the show's rare and barely discernible F-bombs. But the writing's on the wall for Boone, and tonight his name will be crossed out. Balancing the survivor count, Claire is about to have her bye-bye and spark life into a few thousand fingertips, which can't help but comment on how unrealistically the birth was portrayed. In flashbacks, Jack is back, and this time he's getting married, but he's having weird feelings about it. Feelings so weird that he just goes right on and dunks his feet into the hotel pool without rolling up his pant legs. What won't this monster do? And that was Do No Harm. And if this was an episode of Friends, the episode might have been called something like The One Where the First Main Character Died, or The One Where That Weirdo Put His Feet into the Swimming Pool Without Rolling Up His Pant Legs. I'll get to why I'm thinking about a 90s TV show in a moment. This episode opens in a way that is quite unique for the show, in that the first scene begins with a non-diegetic, thrumming heartbeat to really put us into the scene. A what? A non-diegetic heartbeat. A nun-died athletic Bartbeat? A non-diegetic heartbeat. So non-diegetic means a sound that the audience can hear, but that the characters in the TV show or movie you're watching can't hear. For example, think about like narration or background music.
Oh, that must have hurt. Let's see that again from the other side. Oh, yeah, I think it did.
And all the things I'd never do. Like learn to drive, or see what me and Katie's kids would look like, or find out what happened on Lost.
We can hear it, but the characters can't. Now, whilst Lost does have some non-diegetic sounds, such as the flashback whoosh or an end of an act, the closest other example to non-diegetic sound that I can think of is Hurley's CD player, in the sense that Hurley plugs in a song on the CD player and it starts to play. So he can hear it diegetic, you can hear it in the world of Lost, but then the song transitions into more of an edited story that the audience is watching. So it becomes kind of non-diegetic, where we hear it, but the other characters can't. And I only claim that this...
I need room. Steady.
Boone, can you hear me? It's okay, we're catching.
What happened?
Is a non-diegetic sound, because if Boone's heart really was making a beat that loudly that the other characters could hear it like this, he'd be having a pretty bad coronary issue, worse than the Grinch when he develops feelings.
Maybe Christmas. Perhaps. Means a little bit more.
And I did think about adding this detail to Lostpedia, because it'd be pretty cool to have something like unique and that I found on Lostpedia, but I don't have an account. So if there's anyone out there that does, feel free to put that on there. Anyway, I just thought that this was a really cool way to like enter us into the scene. Boone was dropped off in the last episode, but now we're being thrown into this episode in media res, if you want to keep it the technical terms. We're being thrown into this episode, and that beating heart really sets the mood for how serious Boone's troubles are. And I do find it kind of funny because whilst I've been a little bit AWOL with not posting these videos recently, I've been watching for the first time the 90s hospital drama ER. And the funny part to me is that almost every few episodes, someone from Lost appears in ER, almost like a reminder to me, get watching Lost, keep making videos, Steven. But even funnier is that, well, more of a coincidence.
Don't mistake coincidence for fate.
Is that I've just started watching season 5, and that's when Julie Bowen is introduced as a love interest for one of the main character doctors, one of the more, I would say, emotional doctors there. And now here she is in the mid-2000s fingering another emotional doctor in Lost. Fingering can mean more than one thing. Grow up. And I've always liked Sarah. I think she kind of gets a bad rap. She was put into a kind of a bad situation. They both made this bad situation for themselves, but I feel like she gets dunked on more than Jack for how their relationship turns out. And if you ask me, that relationship was doomed from the... I can't click, so I'm going to insert a sound there. That relationship was doomed from go because...
Relationships that start under intense circumstances, they never last.
And whilst Jack wasn't exactly operating on her in the middle of the crash, which she did have, this episode goes out of its way to show how intense Jack does behave in his efforts to fix something and not let go. So it's easy to understand how this relationship would have been born out of that intensity. And we will see that later on in season 2. Future Steven here. Just wanted to comment on the fact that this episode does go out of its way to cover up Jack's tattoos, which means that the show is purposefully putting his receipt of the tattoos into the chronology of his flashbacks somewhere. And it's nice to know that he gets them sometime after he gets married. Maybe we'll even get a flashback to how he got those tattoos one day. That would be nice. And you know, poor Jack, man. He is so damaged by trying to live up to his father's expectations that you start to wonder if Do No Harm, the title of this episode, is more referring to us, the audience, pleading with Jack to do no more harm to himself in this episode in his efforts to save Boone, which are pretty fruitless. Which brings me to this question. Do you think that Jack could have ever saved Boone? His name is an anagram for a noob. I'm sorry. I'm not heartless. But Jack does accuse Locke of murdering Boone because of a lack of information given to him. But do we really think that if Locke had stuck around and given him the correct information, Jack's assessment of Boone's injuries would have been any help? Or was Boone just too far gone? And with that, let's spin that donkey wheel and go back in time to see what people were saying about this episode in 2005. When Jack said Boone didn't die, I was like, whoa, he's alive. And then he said he was murdered. And I was like, oh, I think the 3-part final is going to be very good. I have a feeling that the season finale is going to leave us all hanging badly until the season premiere. Probably. Did anyone notice in the woods when Claire was frightened, Jin was speaking to her, and it calmed her? Could it be that Claire may speak Korean? Nope. Not sure if this is relevant at all, but figured I'd throw it out there anyway. In the first episode at the beginning, Jack finds Boone trying to give CPR to Rose, I think that's her name, and Boone suggests that Jack try that pen thing in the neck, and Jack shrugged it off and said, sure, go get a pen. Well, in this episode, Jack punches a hole in his chest so he can breathe, very similar to the pen in the neck to help breathing. Whoa, it all comes full circle. Boone juice. I like how they gave him that stick to bite on when they set his leg, but not when they were going to cut it off. Well, if you remember, it was actually Sun that gives him the stick, not Jack. Maybe Jack prefers doing like that Kill Bill style, where you just bite down on your own teeth until they explode. I think this show is corny already. They show you in the preview what will happen for next week, for fuck's sake. We knew at the end of last week that Boone was going to communicate with Jack about letting him die. Now we know Locke will 95% be shot by someone. This episode was way too predictable. I give it a 2 out of 10. The last good show was with Hurley. Numbers. This show is really starting to get lame. Admit it. Oh my god, so much going on. Too much to describe right now. Lol, they're going to cut off his leg. Oh my god, I can't take it. Well, don't take his leg. What do you want his leg for, you weirdo? Oh, maybe you want to be like Jack and put it in the water? Keep the pant leg rolled down while it's in the water? Freak! Good episode, sort of slow though. Is there some other thread for Lost? This one seems unusually dead. Baby of Doom has been born. I haven't seen this mentioned yet. Did anyone notice the very large number 44 on the back of Jack's fiance's shirt? Well, if we want to talk about numbers on shirts, especially where Boone had the Chinese number on his, we could talk about how the number 4 is a very bad omen in Chinese, and double 4 is double bad omen. So, sorry, Boone. Officially crying my eyes out. I can't believe it! No! Oh my god, I can't believe this. I cried so much. Boone's last words. I was screaming at the end. Say it! Say that you love her! This is just so sad. I'm just... Matthew the Big. Terrible. I did not like this episode. I don't exactly know why. It just did not appeal to me. L5. Terrible. I didn't like this episode especially. The Wolves. Terrible. Yeah. Likewise. Just want up the Lost standard, wasn't it? Hard to read sometimes. Attached earlobes are sexy. Jack's first dream sequence is the gayest thing I have seen since Clark and Lex got married before the prom. If Jack got married because he felt that he had to and he has trouble letting go, there is still a chance that he is gay. That baby was pretty big, wasn't he? Random thoughts. I think this shouldn't have been a Jack episode. Nice to find out about his marriage and all, but now just isn't the time, you know? This should have been a Shannon flashback episode. Of course, she needed to be with him, but still, why does Jack get a whopping 3 episodes, and Shannon only gets to be in Boone's flashbacks? Whilst I do agree that maybe Jack is taking the forefront here, I don't agree that it should have been a Shannon episode either, because then you're taking away from Boone, although I do get the point about Shannon only being in Boone's flashbacks. And in general, I kind of think that the flashback story of this episode is a little bit messy. It's like it's not really sure on what it's trying to say, other than to introduce the Jack can't let go kind of idea, which is super important for the rest of the show. It will come up again and again. It's an integral part of his character, but the way that it's kind of like noodled in here specifically in this flashback episode is it's one of the weaker flashback episodes, like the sets of flashbacks themselves, even if it does introduce a very important idea. Tell Shannon she was a great lay. I stand by my assertion that sex and anything leading up to it with Saeed is a good and healthy thing. Everyone should do it. Me, several times. Oh boy. And likewise, Boone's final message to his sister was, on my version, tell Shannon that she wasn't good in bed. I'm thinking, tell Shannon I have chlamydia. Tell Shannon she's still useless. And then I didn't go back to find them all, but there were so many comments, and totally justified, that basically said the exact same thing over and over and over and over again, that Sun rocks. Specifically, those 2 words in that order, Sun rocks. Now it's time to choose a side with whose Saeed are you on? Well, I'm not on the side of the guy who puts his legs in a swimming pool without rolling up his pant legs. Oh my goodness, what a psycho. No, it's a toughie because all season I've been handing the MVP to Jack. And now, in his most dedicated and most committed and highly emotional. He's literally pouring his life into a dying Boone. And now I'm actually going to swing over to Kate instead. You know, it sometimes feels like the show doesn't really always know what to do with Kate.
Future Steven here. I just kind of wanted to cut through all the crap that I did in my original edit where I kind of talked a bit too much about Kate's original plans where she was supposed to be the main character when Jack was supposed to die. Basically, to cut things short, I just wanted to say that I'm happy that this is one of her first episodes where she actually gets a storyline where she stands on her own. She's not doing anything to do with her criminal past. And there's nothing to do with, like, helping Saeed make a doodad. There's nothing with, like, flirting with Sawyer. And there's nothing with being an exposition point for Jack. She gets a storyline all by herself with another woman. And in this episode, she's creating, like, a bond that's going to go on to live throughout the whole series. But, yeah, go Kate. She rocks in this episode.
And Claire's the one that's pregnant, so she does a good job too, I guess. Well, first, I'll tell you what's not hot. Putting your feet in the pool without rolling up your bloody trouser legs. But what is hot? Shannon and Saeed. Totally boned. 100% they boned. There was quite a lot of contention on the message boards. I'm not really sure why, but there was a lot of contention about whether they did or not do it. But they totally did it. Who be lying? Well, Jack's lying to himself about being normal if he's going to go and put his feet in water without rolling up his pant legs, because that's just insane behavior. But obviously this week's liar award goes to Locke. And whilst the lie was last week when he delivered Boone to Jack, the consequences of that lie are carrying over into this episode and even into the next episode. The thing about Locke's lie is, I know people don't like it when I say this, but it is kind of drama for drama's sake. In that, what was the point of the lie? There is no need for it. It was an accident. Nobody's accusing Locke of anything, but the show does need to really ramp up the dichotomy between Locke and Jack. In these final episodes, we really need to have that battle between the two, and we're really going to start introducing those themes of their opposition, which is, you know, man of science, man of faith, believers and non-believers, and, you know, who can blindly do something whilst the other needs evidence and this and that. So whilst I like it in a dramatic sense of the characters having conflict, I do think that it was a totally unnecessary lie. And with that, check your mystery. There are 3 big mysteries this week. Number 1 is, did Sawyer really give away all the alcohol? Because Sawyer has proven before, and he will for sure in the future, that when it comes to it, he can stop being a little bitch and actually help out and be a really good member of the survival group. But that was alcohol, you know. Would he have given up all of his porn? Would he have given up all of his cigarettes? I don't know. So in the future episodes, the next few episodes, I'm going to be keeping a watch out to see if any miniature bottles of alcohol turn up. Mystery number 2 is, what is Clegg? And I call her Bye-Bye. What's a Bye-Bye gotta be called? Bye-Bye. And mystery number 3 is, why did Jack put his feet in the swimming pool without rolling up his trouser leg? Or, more importantly, why have I been giving Jack shit for this when during this whole episode I have been doing the same? I'm a psycho. 2 Grinch references in one video. That's good numbers. Well, that was Season 1, Episode 20, Do No Harm. Agree with me or disagree with me in the comments, but remember, please be like Hurley and be nice. And I'll see you next time for Season 1, Episode 21, The Greater Good, where we see Saeed becoming a terrorist. Ugh. All right, well, see you in the next episode, brother. Bye.
Coming on Lost.
Where the hell were you? What you do to us?
Brace yourself for all new episodes of TV's most addictive new drama.
I know what you're doing.
Let go of me.
Know where you're getting my spot on that raft.
One astonishing revelation after another.
What?
Was anybody in here?
Why are you?
The key to the gun case. It's gone.
Leading up to a special 2-hour season finale and the answers everyone wants to know.
No more lies.
Lost, Wednesdays at 8, 7 Central, only on ABC.